Judith Furtick again, and here we are in my kitchen talking about Easy Bread, my new book. So we're going to show you how easy it is to make your first batch of dough. So this is Easy Bread 100 no-knead recipes. So we'll put this aside. So we've got our flour in a bowl. You can use bread flour, you can use all-purpose flour. I would recommend you can use really any kind of grocery store flour, but my two favorites are King Arthur flour and also Hudson cream flour, which is grown and milled in Kansas. So we've got our flour in there, so just be sure you keep up with this, because if you miss a step, you're going to be toast. So the next thing we're going to add is instant or bread machine yeast, and this has a finer granule. It's almost sort of powdery, and just put that on top. This is the kind of instant or bread machine yeast I use. Safety, I buy a big bag of it. It's like vacuum packed, and I put it in a plastic bag and I keep it in the freezer so it stays fresh. But you can use any brand of instant or bread machine yeast. That really doesn't matter. And this is the salt. You want a fine-grained salt. You could use sea salt or kosher salt. Just make sure that it's fine so that it'll blend in with your flour. And now the crucial part here, crucial part one, use your Danish dough whisk to stir the dough. All right, you're stirring your dry ingredients together. And we have our water. Now I've added half hot, half cold, so I know it's lukewarm. But if you want to be sure, just take its temperature with the instant read thermometer, and if it's 100 degrees or less, you're good to go. The reason why we want to make sure the water is not too hot is because yeast starts to die at 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and you don't want that. You don't want us to mess it up before you've even started. So lukewarm is the way to go. 100 degrees, you can kind of feel it, and it feels lukewarm. So you're just going to pour the water in to the dry ingredients. Stir this around, and we want to stir it so that it all gets moistened, and then we're going to stir it 40 times. So you can count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I cheated there a minute. 9, 10, 11, 12. Math was never my thing. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. You can see that our Danish dough whisk is kind of clearing the sides of the bowl. Where were we? 40. No, we weren't there yet. It doesn't matter. You can see this is easy. The whole point is that you stir the dry ingredients together until you get a shaggy dough. And so you can see our dough is pretty shaggy. It's not like traditional dough. And you think, what in the heck is going to happen with this? So we're gonna see. We're gonna cover this with plastic wrap. Of course, not with the Danish dough whisk in there. Cover this with plastic wrap, and then we're gonna let it sit at room temperature for about 2 hours, and it will bubble up and it will be foamy across the top. And so the next question is, what are you going to do while your dough is rising? Well, I would suggest reading a good book. This one is all about baking, it's all about flavor, and it's also by me. You can't go wrong. I love the cover. I love the rainbow cake on front and back, and I just got dough all over my book. That's how you can tell you've got a book that you really love. If you have dough and coffee marks on it, you can tell that you've used it. So I'm going to be reading while my dough is rising, and I encourage you to do the same.